Good morning, Soul Tribe. Tracy here with Sweet Spot e-magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, shares, views, subscribes, comments, hypes, donations, the generous donations in all forms. Everything. I appreciate it all. Let's go ahead and ring the bell. Let's clear out this energy, and then we'll see what the message of Spirit has for us. I feel like it took a moment, but somebody, I feel like they heard something about how easy it is to perpetuate a lie. You know, Malcolm X, I can't get the exact words, but Malcolm X said that it just takes one person to lie, but it takes a moment. Hold on a second. Yeah, go on out there. It takes a moment for one person to lie, but it just takes that person to say the lie over and over and over again. And then people stop questioning the lie and they believe it like it's the truth. They don't even question it any longer. Someone is at that point where they realized they heard that same lie over and over and possibly said and spread by several different people. So it's not like they questioned it. They just believed it. The whole time it was just a lie. You watching them get their karma is kind of bittersweet. It's one of those, oh, finally, they finally see. But at the same time, it's that sadness like, now they see it. Like you don't get any, you're not happy about it. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but you know it has to be done. Hey, Straight Cheese. Hey, Malcolm. Bottom of the deck. The Hierophant. I feel like the Most High is happy now that someone finally has woken up. Somebody finally sees something differently. They finally have a different point of view. They can finally open up their eyes and see, damn, that shit wasn't even the truth. And like I said, this person is sad about this because it's like they were able to close this cycle, but it's bittersweet. They're thinking about everything that they lost and how they gained absolutely positively nothing. They're thinking about everything that they invested and nothing worked out. This person wants to come and they want to give you your flowers. They want to come, they want to apologize to you. They want to tell you you were right because you already know you was right. You already know that they was living off of a lie. You already know that they was flushing their entire life down the toilet, believing some bullshit that someone who was your secret enemy said. Hey, Yolanda. This person is like they kind of feel hesitant. Hey, J. Mike. They want to reach out, but they kind of feel hesitant because they're not sure how you're going to act, how you're going to respond. They want to reach out because now they have this clarity, but they feel like they may be on call block. And they want to tell you everything that they found out. I mean, they are like literally with their head in their hands in disgust with themselves for being weak enough, so weak to believe this lie. Hey, Hypsee. Hey, J Mike. This person wants peace now. They want to be able to relax their mind. They want to be able to put all of this behind them. They want to be able to move forward because they are in distress, especially finding out or realizing that, you know what? They never gave you the benefit of the doubt. They never gave you the benefit of the doubt because they listened to this person who was this egomaniac, who was on demon time, who was trying to control everything, including them. They realized someone did some research. They started reading books. They started, listening to something else besides this asshole that was just nothing but a liar. And they found the truth. It came as a surprise. They finally have clarity on this entire situation. How they should have looked deeper into it. They should have looked closer. They finally realized that this witch was a hidden enemy that they refused to see. Even whenever you told this person, even when you said the words, they don't like me. They don't want me to succeed. This person wants me to fail. Even when you said the words, they still did not open up their own mind, their own heart, their own ears to hear, to comprehend what you were saying, to save themselves at that moment. Now they know that there is no other choice but for them to walk away because this person has nothing good for them. This person is doing them wrong behind their back. They have no other choice but to leave this person alone, out in the cold, as they should be. It was somebody else that actually gave them some good information, that actually helped them, that gave them help spread some knowledge about, you know what, sometimes you just can't believe everything that you hear, even if it's somebody that you feel is so connected to them, even if it's like somebody's parent, somebody's grandparent. You always have to doubt it. If you don't see it, if you don't experience it, then don't just sit there and drink the fucking Kool-Aid and say, it's gotta be the truth. Why would they lie? That's their parent, that's their grandparent, that's their uncle, that's their best friend, that's their aunt, that's their cousin. Why would they lie? The question that you need to ask them is, why wouldn't they lie? Somebody wants to travel towards you to repair this relationship, to apologize for not looking further into a situation or something that you said. Somebody wants to make sure that they apologize for holding back, for acting like you was nothing. Like they couldn't hear anything that you were saying. Somebody wants to let you know that yes, you are the empress. Yes, you are so abundant in everything. When you come around, everything seems brighter, everything seems better, everything seems clear. The sun comes out and it shines strictly and directly on you. Hey, Red Violet. and their whole life has been turned upside down. This person feels so much stress, and they realize it's because, you know what, that stress that they feel, that's the same stress that you felt. That's the same stress that you felt when this person didn't have any faith in you. This person is sitting here thinking about all the times that you provided, that you just happened to come through when they felt there was no way. You was like showing up. Surprise, I got it. I know you didn't think I was going to be able to have it, but I pulled the rabbit out the hat. Here you go. They're thinking about all those times that you got down on your knees to help them, whatever it was that they needed. That you picked up the heavy weights, even though it was a struggle for you and you had your own shit going on. How you got up out your bed to make sure that they had. If you were sick, you didn't have to worry about cooking. They didn't have to worry about cooking. You made sure that they ate. You made sure that they ate, that they had this, they had that, they had this, they had that. They were sitting there thinking about all this shit. Now, like I said, it is bittersweet to know that you are vindicated. But the fact that all this had to happen. Hey, Shaylin. Somebody wants to send you a message. They want to tell you they want to apologize. Like I said, they want to talk about how, that it was wrong for them just to leave you out there, to break your heart, not care about how you felt. Just as long as somebody else, the one that was lying about you, got their way. They want to let you know that shit is over. This person has been watching you for a while. And the more they watch you, the more they understand that they put themselves in a position that is really hard for them to get out of. Hey, Eric, how are you? Did I say hello, Shaylin? Somebody has this plan that they want to repair this love. They want to repair this love. And they know that they have to go through this karma, whatever it is. Somebody wants to heal something with you. They want to bring you this little gift. They want to let you know that, that they appreciate you. They appreciate everything that you did. Hey, Stax. Hey, Kim. Not just that, but they know that there was somebody that was creating a situation, acting out of malice, acting out of jealousy, just straight acting, creating havoc when there need not even be any. All because somebody was in their ego. They wanted shit to be their way. They wanted themselves to look like they was the hero. They was the savior. They was the best choice. They was. Only to find out they wasn't. Hey, High Priestess. Only to find out they were not. All it takes is one person to lie and say that lie again and again and again. And then next thing you know, 2 people are saying that lie. And then 5 people are saying that lie. And then 10 people are saying that lie. Until everybody past that believes the lie. But regardless of how many people are repeating it or believing it, it is still a lie. Hey, Carla. Somebody's receiving judgment for just leaving like they was a fool, for living their life like they was a fool, for having that blind faith and that blind trust and just jumping over the edge of the cliff like they was a fool. Somebody is feeling like a fool because they allowed someone else to get in the middle of your relationship. They sat there and they put all their stock into this person, thinking this person was leading the way. That person was leading the way straight to destruction. Now this person is sitting back thinking about why they even believe this fucking lie. Knowing that they knew better. Knowing that you was never like that. Knowing that they should have shut that shit down. They should have exhibited a little bit of courage to tell that lying person to shut that shit down. But instead, they allowed this karma to rack up on them. See, they thought that you was getting karma because everybody was repeating the same lie. People were shunning you. People were turning their back on you. People were stopping opportunities for you. And they thought it was you getting the karma. Only to find out you wasn't getting the karma. Everybody else that believed the lie was getting the karma. Everyone else who perpetuated this lie, that turned their back on you, that stopped opportunities, that got in the middle of all your relationships, that sat there and badmouthed you, those were the people that was getting the karma, not you. You were just trying to make it through the nightmare of living somebody else's lie. Now this person is seeing that you are the stable one. You're the one who's receiving blessings. You're the one who's making a way out of no fucking way. You're the one that God is smiling upon. You're the one that has positive things being said about you now that you are no longer around those liars. You're the one who's getting the accolades. This person, they're confused, or at least they were. They was confused, siding with these people that wanted to take you down. And they couldn't understand why they wanted to take you down. Why was everybody saying the same thing? And so then they felt like, well, if everybody's saying the same thing, even though I never experienced it, even though I never saw it, even though I know it not to be true, if everybody else is saying it, I must need to jump on board too. But they knew you was always telling the truth about whatever it was that you did. If you did something, you was the first one to say, well, yes, I did that. I sure did. Absolutely. I sure did. Yeah, that was me. Oh, no, but I didn't do that. I did do this. I did that. I did this and I did that, but I didn't ever do that. You was the first person to tell the truth about you because you knew what? You didn't have anything to be ashamed of. You knew your worth. You knew that you had that integrity, the honesty. So there was nothing for you to lie about. Absolutely nothing. If somebody wanted to sit here and talk about something and make it a joke about part of your life, you ask them, well, do you know why I did this? Let's talk about it. But see, they didn't want to talk about that because then that would have meant that they would have had to accept your truth. They would have had to hear about how somebody else was lying about you. They didn't want to talk about that. Now somebody is realizing that things are coming in for them. The more truth is coming out. That somebody should have been using their discernment when it came to you. Hey, Lightworker William. Somebody is realizing that a whole lot of lies are being uncovered. And a whole lot of truth is coming out. Someone is seeing now how you just defended yourself from being character assassinated by all these fucking lies. Somebody's finding out the meaning of the word simp. Never questioning a lie told by somebody older because they were afraid to challenge authority. Only to find out that that older person, that authority, was a fool, was a liar, was a cheater, was a thief, was on demonic time. That's a simp. Believing just because somebody said it. They never sat there and said, you know what? Because you know what? When we sit there and we think about it, how many times has somebody passed away? There was an older person that passed away, and while that person was alive, nobody ever questioned nothing about that person because they wanted to show that person some level of respect. Only to find out after the funeral, when they knew that that person's corpse was in the ground, laid to quote unquote rest. And they go back to somebody's house, for the, what was it called? The repast or something, where they have all the food and everybody gathering around. And then that's when the truth start coming out. They was taking kids. They used to, you mean that was never chicken, that was cat? You mean what? They sold themselves. Wait, what? They stole cars? Wait, what? I never knew that. What? You're kidding me. That's when the truth come out. And then everybody's leaving like, damn, in their car, scratching their head. I never knew auntie or great grandma, grandpapa, who uncle, or Mr. Old. Oh my gosh. Had I known, I would have never, ever did. Had I known, I would have never went along with. Had I known. Somebody is right to feel that you want to put yourself under a level of protection against them. Somebody they know that you're right to feel this because everything is out. Somebody didn't pass away, not yet, but they still had these lies come out. Somebody said, no, that's not the truth. Somebody else said, wait, what? But they told me, no, it never happened. So that started the crack. That started Humpty Dumpty's crack before Humpty Dumpty ever had that fall. Because then somebody started going and doing some more investigation and figuring out, trying to figure out all this shit that was said, all these rumors that was flying around, flying here, flying there. And then somebody realized, oh my God, what have we done? This is why you just took your space. This is why you went ahead and did what you had to do. If they want to believe the worst about you, you go right on ahead. Because you already knew the truth was going to come out. You already knew that right then, in the middle, and in the end, you was going to be seen as the victorious one. You already knew that somebody else was going to have to pay the piper. They was going to have to answer, whether that was to people that was here on the 3D, or that was to God. They was going to have to answer some hard questions. You know, I remember when I was younger, and this is before my parents got divorced. And you know, before parents get divorced, they go through their ups, they downs, they arguments, they this, they that, they screaming matches and all that shit, you know, the children have to witness. And so when my mother decided that she had had enough and she left, you know, by this time I was already an adult. And me and my child lived somewhere else. And you know, didn't know that my older brother and his wife come to and help my mother pack up everything in the house, everything except for phone books and a telephone, and left. I didn't know any of that, but it wasn't until years later, and when I say years later, I'm talking like 30 years later. 30 years later, talking to my brother, and he brought up a subject of talking about the day my father hit my mother. I was like, wait, what? It never happened. He said, wait, what? I said, no, it never happened. I know what you're talking about. I was there on that day. Me and my younger brother were there on that day, but that's not what happened. He never knocked her down. It was ice outside and she slipped and fell. And she rolled around in the front yard performing like, oh my God, I had just been, You know how they perform. And my brother was like, I thought all this time. And I told him, you should have asked me 30 years ago. Instead of sitting here trying to hold somebody else's secret, which only turned out to be a fucking lie. Hey, Douglas. Oh, you are so welcome. You know, only to find out the shit was a fucking lie. Somebody's working on something, or they doing some research or something. They researching about you. You know, like I said, and they open to the truth coming out. They open to more truth being exposed. You know, because it's like this person is tired. Everybody just want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just want to be happy. And now it's starting to dawn on this person Why you just have always been by yourself? Why you just always took your space? Why you just always went and did your own thing? Why you never wanted to hang around? Why you never wanted to subject yourself to this bullshit? It's just now dawning on somebody. And it wasn't because you couldn't get along. You could always get along. You got along well with a lot of people. But liars, it's hard to subject yourself. It's hard to be in that company when you know that, number one, they're lying about you. Number two, they're keeping secrets about you that you don't even know about. You supposed to act like you so happy to be around them. Fuck all that shit. All of it. But they want to make it seem like you the problem. No. Somebody else's lie was the problem. Sometimes you can't question somebody else's integrity. You got to question your own integrity about what the fuck you believe in. You know, what kind of person are you? You going to take something and go forward with that? No, Spirit has moved you so far away from these people, from this group. Spirit has blessed you and said, they. Are we back? Hey, 231 Page Home. Thank you, J. Mike. Thank you, Shaylin. You have stepped out on faith. You know, this person, they understand now the level of stress that you was put under. They understand how they hurt your heart, believing some shit about you that wasn't even true. They understand that, like you know, this person. It's like everything that y'all shared in the past. They negated that, believing some bullshit, and they didn't even believe it. They just acted like whatever you guys went through didn't even matter. And then they acting like they could just leave you and find you anywhere else. Like you could I could find another empress. All I got to do is go down to the corner. All I got to do is go over there. All I got to do is go over here. I can find me another empress. But who they was deciding to be around, they found out no matter what they invested in, this was nothing but a fucking hoe. This was no empress. This was a witch. This was a liar. This was the one who was jealous. This is the one who started it all. This is the one who was laying around like, they hate me. Did you find what you was looking for? But yet it had to take somebody else to tell this person, think outside the box. Look past what you think that you know. You don't know everything. If you wasn't there, you need to question everything. Hey, Jerome, how are you? If you wasn't there and you only got one side of the story, like they say, it takes two people to tango. If you only got one person that was at the dance, you need to find out from the other person how the dance actually went. Because one person could be like, yeah, I was putting it down. I was twirling. I was throwing up in the air. We was stepping. We was doing this. I was like moving from side to side. Yeah, baby, I was the top dog. You talk to the other person, they was like, they was stepping on my feet. Hell, I was like, if you don't stop trying to pick me up because your ass is not strong enough to carry me, and you're not going to twirl me, fuck that, because last time in practice you dropped me. fuck that. It's get off my damn feet. Get your, you can't even fucking dance and you can't keep the beat. So if you don't find out from both people how it actually went, don't believe just the one. I mean, with everything. Everything. I remember whenever I was in my 20s, y'all. And this dude that, you know, back then, me and him, we messed around, you know, once. And then he going around telling everybody, yeah, I knocked her socks off. I did that. I did this, I did that. I had her screaming and blah, blah, blah. And then they came and asked me. I was like, oh, God. Worst 2.5 minutes of my fucking life I can't get back. That shit was so boring. That shit was so dry. He didn't know how to do nothing. He need to go back to humping school or something. So you got to get both sides of the story to actually find out what was going on. Don't believe that one, because you believe that one, you like, damn, he was doing it. But you talk to the other one, she was like, fuck that. Don't believe the lie. If you know somebody on demon time, then understand that they are always on demon time. They not just stealing in front of you, they stealing from you too. They not just lying about other people in front of you, they lying on you too. They not just talking about other people behind their back, they talking about you behind your back too. Somebody decided it was time for them to close the cycle. Somebody decided that it was time for them to close this cycle on this generational curse. And the generational curse was all these fucking lies. They feel so upset that they got bullied by this family to perpetuate these lies that got them caught the fuck up. Now somebody is finding out the truth. They finding out the truth and they feel like they really did too damn much coming for you. Character assassinating you when you didn't deserve none of that. None of it. Everything that was told in the dark, how somebody was trying to control everything, how somebody was trying to make it seem like this and seem like that and do this and do that, all that shit is coming out. All that shit is being exposed. Somebody has some clarity now. Everything that somebody thought they had it under wraps, all that tower is collapsing like a motherfucker. Somebody realized they should have protected your honor. They should have protected you. They should have stood 10 toes down with you because they don't remember none of it. But yet they sat there and listened to one person say one thing and say it again and again and again, and then 2 people, and then 5 people, and then 10 people, and then at the family reunion, everybody talking about it, and everybody know about it except for you. Because had you known, you would have told everybody, that is a fucking lie. Who said that? No, let's bring it out. Who said it? That's why somebody was like, don't tell her, don't tell her, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing to him. Don't say nothing to her. Yeah, I'm just letting you know for your own protection. Confirmation. For your own protection. Don't say nothing to them. No, it was so that they could protect their life. That's why they didn't want to say nothing. Because I'm going to tell you something. If that shit is the truth, they want everybody to know it's the truth. You know, if you flunked out of college or you broke somebody's dish, then somebody's you dropped a crystal bowl or something like that, and it shattered into a million pieces. They're not gonna sit there and say they shattered my crystal bowl and it went into a million pieces. Shh, don't talk about it. No, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's why I'm mad at your ass, and they're gonna be talking loud because you shattered my crystal bowl and it splintered, went into a million pieces. They're going to want everybody to know what happened. They're not going to say that shit on the hush, hush. But somebody sat there and they drank their fucking Kool-Aid. They allowed somebody to start some shit. Hey, Hypsee. Not just even a little bit. A whole lot of shit. And the whole time, you was over here by yourself, didn't even know what the hell they were saying about you. Now somebody want to come and kiss you on your forehead. They want to say that they believe in you now. They want to have this new beginning now. They want to invest in you now. They want to make plans with you. Now they want to celebrate with you. Especially since they can believe that now they understand that they was hanging around with nothing but a group of fucking liars. What's the message, Spirit? Somebody realized they was a simp. They was a sucker of a simp too. What's the message, Spirit? You know? Yeah. It's like, and I feel like you just tried to forget the past. You have resigned to putting all these people from the past behind you. You didn't want nothing to do with the motherfucking asses. And you can't even be blamed. Hell, they sat here and believed all this other shit, and never questioned what you was talking about, even though they see that what you was being blessed by the Most High. They never questioned it. They was like sitting there thinking, oh, wait, how did collective get that new car? They never sat there and thought, well, maybe they're receiving blessings for the life that they've had to endure. Maybe they got that because God said, let me give you a consolation prize because of some bullshit that somebody, and I'm going to take it from their ass. They about to lose this, and I'm going to give it to you because you are more deserving. Now, anytime that somebody was God took something from a liar and blessed you with it, you know what they said? Collector must have been going to sell that ass. See, I knew he was a gigolo. Watch him, or watch her. Look how she walk. You see how she walk? That's how you could tell. Look, see how he talking to that lady? Oh, he done opened the door for that lady. He a player. You just trying to be a gentleman. Look at her. She's smiling at that man, showing all 32 teeth and gums. I mean, the man just said, hey, I like your hair. That's a nice hairstyle. You was like, oh, thank you. See I'm saying? Look at her. It's like people refuse to use they refuse to use their brain. They rather use their ass to think with. They refuse to look at something outside of themselves. They refuse to use any type of common sense because it's easier just to believe what somebody else is talking about. Now everybody get to see how you are victorious. You get the last laugh. You get the last laugh because guess what? People are seeing that she was always lying. Somebody is in their feelings. They feeling sorry for themselves. They feeling like, oh, woe is me. All my lies have been coming out. I can't stop the lies from just showing if I tried. When all they had to do was not lie. All they had to do was be honest. You know? All because somebody, they felt like they deserved your gifts. They was going to take from you. They was going to make this. They was going to bully you out of. They was going to do this. They was going to do that. But when it all came back on them, and the fact that you didn't say a word, the fact that you probably didn't even know you needed to defend yourself. And the fact that you are being blessed and this person is being stressed, that says a lot. Look at the fruits that you got going on around you. Look at the fruits that everybody got going on around them, because that paints the picture. You know, if you have these good fruits that's being blessed on you, that's not because you robbing and stealing and doing this and doing that, If you're happy, you're smiling, your skin look good, you speak positive, you may not be living the lifestyles of the rich and famous, but you happy with what you got, where you're at, you're thankful, you're praising God. That's the fruits of your labor. But see, somebody that they may have a whole lot. They got this, they got that, they got this, they got that. They done stole this, they done trick somebody out of that. They done took this, they done grabbed that, they done bully somebody from this and all this other shit, and they still complaining. Look at the fruits of their labor. Look at their fruits. Hey, Observer 88, Tyrell, how are you? Hey, Kenta, how are you? Look at their fruits. It ain't that, and that doesn't necessarily mean that how your children are behaving, because your children can be mesmerized by somebody who has bad fruit too. And your children think because they can be groomed like, oh, you know what? I gotta, so and so, Mr. Otis is doing this, so, and he seemed like he just no. Some people, and it's like another thing. Some people look at somebody's children, because everybody has their own mind. You could have had a child that went to prison, and that don't mean that you didn't raise them right. That just meant that child decided that they wanted to live that type of lifestyle. Now, if all your kids go to prison and they were looking at you and you wielding guns and shit like that, then yeah, okay, maybe they was following you. Somebody, they want to apologize to you. They want to give you your flowers. It's like they want to tell you that they didn't see this fish fly out this cup when somebody was saying it, when somebody was spreading this rumor. They didn't see that somebody had something planned for them. And they was telling them, hey, it's a secret. This is some guys, keep it to yourself. I'm not trying to start no shit. So don't tell them I said it, because I don't want to start no shit. That motherfucker is starting shit. Like, for real though. For real. Lying on somebody else and then telling somebody else, don't tell them, because I ain't trying to start nothing. That's starting something. That is starting something. Best believe that. Best believe it. Somebody is telling somebody else the truth about a whole lot of shit. They getting they elevating their mind right now. Somebody is making sure that somebody else, their mind was down here. They helping them to elevate that motherfucker to think up outside of the motherfucking box. If you didn't see it, then you need to question it. So what? So and so said this. So what? Because everybody lies. Everybody has lied at one point or another in their life. Now, if they continue to lie, they are born and bred and true to the game liar. But if they elevate their mind and say, you know what, I'm an adult, I don't actually have to lie. I can tell the truth. It may sting, but they're going to know in the end that I was honest. Hey, Latasha. They're going to know in the end I was honest. At least I can give them credit for not lying. You know, somebody's going to say, at least I can give them credit for not lying. At least but if they said that they did it, because, you're so honest, you're going to say, yeah, I did that. And no, I didn't do that. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did this. And I said this. I said this. They said this. I said this. They said this. I said this. And you giving them the truth, the honest to God truth, telling them the good, the bad, and the ugly that you did and said, because you admitting to it. Then whenever some shit come out, they're gonna know. When you say you did it, that means that you did it. If you say you didn't do it, that means you didn't do it. You're not cherry picking. Oh, I don't want to tell them. Oh, I don't want to tell them about that because that's gonna make me look bad. No, you putting it all out there because ain't nothing to hide. You ain't the first to have done it. You won't be the last to have done it, whatever it is. Somebody realized that, you know what? They sat there and somebody was feeding them a whole bunch of bullshit. And just because a whole bunch of other people was saying it, they was like, it got to be the truth. When somebody now realized they should have did their own fucking homework. They should have investigated. They should have not drank the Kool-Aid. They should have sat there and said, no, that don't even sound right. That ain't even like collective. That ain't collective. I don't know who that is, but that ain't collective. I feel like if they would use their own intuition, they would have been a lot happier. A lot happier. But somebody wanted to, they have to realize there was a simp. It's no nothing mean behind it. It's just being honest. If you was a simp, just say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm guilty. I was a simp. Hey, I was, or if you acted like a weasel, hey, I acted like a weasel. Hey, I lied. Hey, I lied. Hey, I believed a lie. You don't have to try and justify. Well, and somebody else is going to blame somebody else for everything wrong that went in their life. That's a liar. That's a liar. Them told you about, before my parents got divorced and all that other shit. And then whenever they finally got divorced, like I said, you know what my mother told me? It was because of me that they got divorced. What? How does that make sense? I wasn't married to y'all. I was y'all's child. I didn't even live in the house with y'all when all this shit went down. I had my own house. So why is it my fault? Somebody sound like they was deflecting. There's a lot of people that will project and they will deflect. That they will blame you for their own bad doing. Somebody didn't want to take responsibility for the part that they had in that relationship and you wasn't even involved in that relationship. So somebody else need to understand that just because people say it don't mean it's true. Hurt people hurt people. That's the truth. Hurt people hurt people. So instead of you finding yourself that you was hurt by a hurt person, question everything. Question everything. Something about somebody needs to have some faith, that they need to exercise some faith, or they needed to have some faith in you. Because you know what? You the real deal, Holyfield. You ain't got to lie or fake the funk. You radiate all this positive energy. Something about your second house of money and possessions. You got to be aware of snakes, because snakes don't shed their skin to change into a different animal. They just shed their skin to grow bigger, and not even to change their behavior. Sometimes you got to do that return to sender times 10. What's the message, Spirit? Confirmation. Whatever's happening now, this is divine timing. Somebody else, they are suffering in silence. They left. They left you. And then they got mad because you let them go. You know? And leaving don't mean that that they had, somebody could have left you emotionally and then expected you to run up after them and be like, well, wait, no, talk to me. They left you emotionally. They made a bad decision and you said, I'm done. Now they depressed because they realized that they were living in an altered reality. An altered reality is a nice way to say a lie. They was living a lie. You took your power back. Now this person, somebody's living in that victim mentality. But it's up to them if they want to change. Sometimes you have to recognize it's time to transform for the better. And it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody else has to change to please you. If you're not happy with your situation, then you have to do the changing. See, somebody didn't realize they started a whole war with a spiritual gangster. They thought that you was going to back down. It's because of your divine lineage that you did not back down. They was just trying to trigger you. But something about you have this soul contract with this person, the one who realized they was a simp and they was living a lie. You have this divine bodyguard around you. I feel like they're in a heavenly host. And the Holy Spirit is in the house. Hey, Kitsune Warrior. All right, y'all, we're going to leave it right there. I need to jump on and do my straight 8. I will be back this evening. But yeah, we have to. Thank you, Jerome. We have to make sure that we just don't believe everything that somebody say. Doesn't make a difference who that person is to us. It could be our mama. It could be our daddy. It could be our grandmama, our granddaddy, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, next door neighbors, colleagues, whoever. Everybody need to check everything out. Like Boosie Badass. Everybody gets checked out, man. All right, let's swing the pendulum. Think of your question and let's see what the message or the answer that Spirit has. Think of your question. And it's going round and round and round. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. I feel like this morning it's a maybe. I kind of feel like with this, somebody is coming out of confusion because now the pendulum is swinging in a different direction. It's swinging like it's a possibility, like a strong possibility. Now it's swinging back in the other direction. Ooh. You know what? Somebody had told such a lie that things were going in one direction, and now everything is going back in the opposite direction. All right, y'all. This is deep. Look at this. It's getting wilder and wilder. And things is getting, everything is being cleared up. Absolutely everything is being cleared up. Everything, every lie is going back on the liar. You're going to be able to see somebody's karma. And like I said, it's going to be bittersweet. You're going to hate to see somebody go through this, but it's what they needed to go through. Other than that, they were never going to learn. It's slowing down. Yep. You're going to get to see somebody's karma. Everything that they put out there about you is coming back on them. Be careful in these spiritual streets. I love you all. See you this evening. Have a wonderful day.